Hey guys, so I just watched Duty After School. Let's talk about it. This will be a spoiler review, so if you don't want that, please go watch Duty After School and then come back so we can talk about it. Because it was good, and I need to talk to y'all about it because nobody around me has watched it, so I'm coming to y'all. So if you have not seen Duty After School, I did watch it on Viki. I'm not sure where else it is available, but it was one of my first, because I'm like a historical drama girly, so I was watching something, you know, a little bit out the box with this. Okay, so the premise is that strange spheres have popped up in the sky. It's a normal day when one of them falls and it opens up, and it's some kind of like alien monster thing that like shoots out and, you know, is eating folks left and right, and, you know, the military and stuff doesn't know what to do. The spheres have popped up all over the world, and everybody has realized if we don't touch them, if we leave them alone, then they will leave us alone. So that is where our story opens. It's a typical day in school. Some people are worrying about cram school, things like that. Nobody's worried about the spheres for real. But then one of them crash lands onto an army base, and the government realizes that in order to take them out, we are going to have to conscript people all the way up until like that third year high school range, which are the people who would be worried about like college exams and things like that. So like, of course the kids are like, me me I military, no. I don't want to go, I don't want to do that. I'm trying to take my, I think it's like the CSAT. I'm trying to take that so that I can have, you know, my future that I had planned. Like, all these kids have plans. So the military is like, okay, well, you shouldn't have to fight, but if you take this training course, because it's optional, if you take this training course, then you will get extra credit that is applied to that standardized test that everybody's want to take it. So people are like, incentivization, you say. So they sign up because, again, they think we're not really gonna have to fight anyway. What's a couple extra credits, and this will put me above my peers. Everything changes when the Fire Nation attacks. Not for real, but everything changes when a sphere falls out of the sky onto the school grounds and ends up taking out one of the students. All of a sudden, it's no longer just fun and games. All of a sudden, it's not just a couple extra credits. And y'all, because I think that's the end of like the first episode, when the sphere comes down and, you know, takes somebody out. So of course, you know, I'm sad. And honestly, it just got better from there. The action, I was eating it up. It was amazing. The tonal shift from, okay, this is just about credits, to, no, we fighting for our lives. For real, we are fighting for our lives. Y'all, when the school was attacked, oh my goodness, hang it up. The way people were running around, the way them little baby spheres were running around, just chasing everybody. I mean, they were moving too. They were moving, grooving and shaking. I mean, the way the actors ate up the role, craziness. But let's break it down. So let's start with the good stuff. Like I said, the actoring. First of all, these dramas, they do not come to play, okay? The actors and actresses who come on these shows, clearly they want that paycheck because they do the heavy lifting. I was right there in that schoolyard. I was right there when they were learning how to shoot guns, when they were getting better, when they were bonding with each other for real, when they were bonding with their platoon leader. Oh, I just ate it up because the actors had so much chemistry. Our main cast had so much chemistry. You bought the relationships between each one of them. You bought the friendships. You bought the slight rivalries. You bought them really, truly fearing for their lives as they were running to get to different safe zones or running to try and find their friends. I bought all of that because the actors knew what needed to be done. They understood the assignment. They understood the assignment. Now there were other classes, but I really did appreciate that we really only focused on like one class, and like the other classes were kind of like extras, because I felt like if we had focused on too many classes it would have been too overwhelming. I don't think we would have gotten the same investment, like the emotional investment that we did by focusing on one class if we had focused on other classes. Now y'all know how I said the emotional investment. Y'all, every time somebody didn't make it, I was tore up from the floor up. Like every time. Like I really appreciated that they went there. I really appreciated that not everybody survived, you know, each near-death encounter, because then you don't have a compelling story. You don't have that edge of your seat, you know, oh, I want them to win, I want them to exceed feeling if everybody always remains, you know, unscathed each time. Because once you start cutting it close too much but you still walk away, you know, basically ready to go, now you lost me. Because it's like, how do you keep doing that? Somebody lying. So I love the fact that the writers knew not everybody's gonna make it to the end of this journey, but man, we are gonna get you invested. So apparently this was a 2-part series. So the first part is from when the spheres first fall and the classes are slowly starting to learn how to handle, you know, guns and things like that, until up until they almost figure out a way to handle the sphere. So that's part 1. Part 2 is when it's like immediately following after that. So like they've been dealing with the spheres for a while up until the very end. Now I did say this was a spoiler review, but I'm not gonna be like, you know, I can't believe so and so died, just in case you're like me and you like spoiler reviews but you don't want to be too spoiled. I got you. I will say some of the things that I didn't like. Season 2, I felt like it had a different tone than season 1. Season 1 felt like a lot of build up and you were building all these relationships, and then season 2, where did Sergeant Kim go? Where did Sergeant Kim go? Because he was nowhere to be seen in what's considered the second season. So because I didn't know that it was split up like that until I went on like the internet and they were like, you know, part 2, we don't know what the heck happened. So I was like, okay. Because in the first couple of episodes, you know, the kids are obviously scared straight, like scared, shook, crying, throwing up, because again, they were just told that they were supposed to just be candidates. They weren't ever supposed to be in danger, and I'm sure, you know, the government didn't think that they were ever going to be in danger until the spheres really started pumping up the party. And then each episode, it was edge of your seat. Like, you know, there would be little lulls where you would have like the typical conversations between high school students, but then like a sphere would pop up out of nowhere, and then it was back to like the high intense action-packed scenes where you were screaming at your TV like, run, go, because some of these kids, they just be standing there and I'd be like, please move your feet, like y'all got to go. But when we got to the second season and they're kind of like living on their own, still trying to complete the mission, I really wanted to ask, like, where did the rest of the adults go? It's revealed that the radio gets broken, and so I was like, okay, well maybe that's why we don't see any adults, because they were supposed to be communicating through radio and the radio's broken, so maybe that's why we're not seeing anybody. But I was like, Sergeant Kim, you cannot convince me the way that he was ready to go to war for these kids in season 1, that all of a sudden in season 2 he would just be up and gone. He'd be letting his kids be running around outside by themselves. I think not. I think that was poor planning on the writer's end. But when you watch those last couple of episodes, it kind of makes sense why there wasn't an adult, because it was kind of giving Lord of the Flies a little bit. You know, the stereotypical, like, you know, once you leave kids, because they were turning like 19, 20 at this point, so they weren't technically kids anymore, and they very much had to mature in this ever-changing world. They were relying on democracy, I will give them that, but I don't know, I still was just like, you know, where is Sergeant Kim? Why are you building up all these relationships and some of them are gone? And then that ending, oh, hang it up. If you know, you know, because that ending was wild. So I really don't want to spoil that one. I really want you to watch it for yourself, because I did not see that coming at all. Like, if you had told me, even watching episode like 5, 6, you start seeing it, I think in episode like 7, 8, you start getting like a little inkling that something is wrong, something is starting to go very, very wrong. But even then, that ending tore me up. I've never been so frustrated at an ending in my life. I said, I know you lying. How dare you? How dare you? And then after that bombastic ending, then they have the nerve, like the people who did not sign up for training, so they were not putting their lives on the line, they were not, you know, fighting to protect the peace, they were not being severely traumatized at every turn. I mean, they might have been, but not the way the people who signed up for the training were. The fact that they had the audacity to stand outside and boycott the fact that these kids who will forever have PTSD, okay, who will never be able to look fondly on their childhood because it was ruined by a global catastrophe, outside boycotting, talking about they shouldn't get, it's not fair that those people get extra credit towards the CSATs and everybody else doesn't. But it was on the form. First of all, it was on the form. Second of all, these kids literally out here risking life and limb on the front lines, and you're mad that they get a little bit of extra credit? Hang it up. Hang it up. So overall, honestly, I gave this series a 10 out of 10. Really, a 9.5 out of 10, because that ending really messed me up to the point where I had to take off that 0.5 points. But everything else, the acting, the drama, the suspense, the sci-fi elements, because I love a good sci-fi, the thriller, because I think some people don't understand how to do a good suspenseful thriller. It's that edge of your seat, creepy feeling, shivers running down your back feeling that you get when you're watching something and you're like, I know something is about to pop out. Not a jump scare, but I know something is about to pop off, but you just don't know what. And then you're discovering with the character, you know, you're wanting the character to make it out, but they don't know how they're going to make it out, so you are trying to figure it out along with them. How you gonna make it out? Is that feeling, that's suspense, that's edge of your seat, trying to, you know, doing stuff. So drop down in the comments if you've seen this, if what you thought about that ending, because honestly, the way they had that one character descend into madness slowly but surely, Mans was okay. I hated him by the end, but Mans was rightfully stressed. He was carrying his whole family on his back, while his classmates, the only thing that they really had to worry about was hanging out with each other, because they all came from richer, not, you know, like 1% rich, but they came from richer backgrounds than he did. So he was always stressed about things like, you know, are we gonna have enough for bills next month? And they were more stressed about, you know, are we gonna have enough money for the arcade? So like, I could see why he ends up going a little bit crazy, because it was stressful. It's the end of the world. You stressed because you had a whole life plan, and now it's ruined because of stuff outside your control. But it feels like your whole life has been circumstances outside of your control, and so it just ends up being too much. So they ate. The showrunners ate. If they could have just given us a slightly better ending, and they gave us a teaser ending. Did y'all notice that? That little graduation scene. I said, y'all, like the different couples that they had in here, ooh, they robbed us so bad. But those are my thoughts on Duty After School. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I know it was a little long, but this show was so good, I just had to talk about it with somebody, so I talked about it with y'all. if you like these type of videos, go ahead, give it a like, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.